The top 10 was separated by less than 9/10 of a second. BMW were pleased with Kubica's 4th, but teammate Heidfeld could only manage 9th. McLaren expected more. Nakajima outqualified Rosberg, who was very disappointed with 15th, while Super Aguri's last race started from the back. The blue and yellow flag of Alonso's hometown was the only thing to be seen with on race day. Starting on the front row, he had the fans' weight of expectation on his shoulders. But when he overcooked it on the formation lap, he nearly felt the fierce force of Flavio's temper. Fernando avoided a potential embarrassment and the grid was set to go. Massa fired past Alonso and even got close to Kimi. The McLarens were straight on the attack, but in the long run down to turn 1, only Hamilton could get ahead. Things looked rosy for Ferrari. Sebastian Vettel hoped for some better luck, but when Sutil made an optimistic move on DC, he left Vettel with nowhere to go. Toro Rosso's races were getting shorter and shorter. Sebastian Bourdais and Nelson Piquet joined Vettel on the sideline after their early tangle. Hamilton had just pitted. Next up would be Kovalainen. But the McLaren didn't make it. He speared off across the gravel and careered into the tyre wall at Kampse corner. The monumental crash left his car buried in the tyres. His team was obviously concerned for his welfare. Heikki's plight began much earlier on. A problem with the left front wheel rim meant that the wheel was sitting more loosely on the axle than it should have been, so the two were moving apart under high cornering loads. During Heikki's first stint, the wheel rim began rubbing heavily against the brake drum. Eventually this caused enough wear to cause the catastrophic failure of the inner lip of the rim as Heikki went through turn 9. Heikki's car was finally removed from the tyre barrier and the extent of the damage emerged. Without steering, there was nothing he could do. Kovalainen was extracted from the car and gave the fans the thumbs up before being airlifted to hospital for precautionary checks. The subsequent safety car ruined Heidfeld's day. He didn't make it in before the pit lane closed and had to make the choice between running out of fuel or getting a stop-and-go penalty.
3, 2, 1, go!
They took the penalty. Raikkonen was able to control the race from the front. It's not an easy circuit to overtake, as Massa, Hamilton and Kubica found out. The Spanish Grand Prix had turned into a complete headache for Flavio. Piquet was already out, and then Alonso retired with an engine failure while running 5th. Not what he wanted at his home event. The fans were only too quick to offer their heroes sympathy. And Fernando even gave them something back before his long walk to the pits. Williams had their fair share of woes to contend with. Nico Rosberg retired with a mechanical failure after what can only be described as a disappointing weekend. Coulthard needed a change in fortunes, but a clean race looked out of the question. An early skirmish with Sutil, then contact with Glock, then to puncture, and an extra trip to the pits. Fisichella was going well and angling for points, but Heidfeld was on a fight back. He used the slipstream, got alongside, and the position was his. The timing pages didn't tell the complete story. 2 safety car periods reduced the gaps, but Raikkonen had been unchallenged all race to take Ferrari's second consecutive 1-2 of the season. Hamilton was glad to be back on the podium, although Kubica was only 1.5 seconds behind him. Webber scored his best result this year, Honda got their first points, but Renault failed to score. Force India reached the top 10 for the first time. Victory tasted sweet for Kimi and confirmed him as championship leader. While investigations into Kovalainen's crash look set to continue for some time.